Good morning, students. Today I will explain the poem Fire and Ice. This poem is written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet and winner of many prizes. He was famous for his works like Fire and Ice, Mending Wall, Birches, Out, Out, Nothing Gold Can Stay, and Home Burial. His 1916 poem, The Road Not Taken, is often read at graduation ceremonies across the United States. As we move forward, let us first know something about the poem. Fire and Ice is a short poem consisting of 2 stanzas, dealing with 2 possibilities of destruction of the world. It deals with 2 different schools of thought about the destruction of the world, one with fire and the other with ice. However, the poet has used the 2 elements both literally and symbolically. Alright, so the poet has used fire and ice as symbols. Now, as we move forward, it is essential to know the theme of the poem. Now, in this poem, the poet Robert Frost expresses the profound idea that the world would end in either of the 2 ways, either by ice or fire. Both the components are compared with self-destruction. Alright, and these self-destructing emotions, they are either hatred or desire. Now this poem underpins the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us, and if we don't control them, they will surely destroy everything around us. So it is very important, it is very essential to control our emotions. Similarly, he thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the destruction of the world. Alright, so here we need to understand that the poet throughout the poem will be dealing with 2 schools of thoughts. Alright, the one which believes that the world will be destroyed by fire, and the other that believes that the world will be destroyed by ice. So, after understanding the theme of the poem, let us move into the explanation of the poem. We will be understanding the poem by dividing this poem into 2 stanzas. Let us first come to the first stanza. Now, I'll read the lines, then I will explain the poem. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Now here, at the very beginning, he has presented to you the 2 thoughts. First, those people thinking that the world will be destroyed by fire. On the other hand, the other school that thinks that the world will be destroyed by ice. Alright, now what fire is and what ice is, that we are going to understand in the next few minutes. Let us continue. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Alright, now here he is also telling his own experience of the world, his own experience of the whole human race. Alright, so here he says that of what I have tasted of desire. Alright, what I have experienced, what I have seen, alright, of desire. Alright, desire, we know, we have a feeling to get something, we have a wish to get something. You can have a desire to become the Prime Minister of India, you can have the desire to get 99% marks, you can have the desire to help the humanity, you can have the desire to start an NGO. That is up to you, what desire you have. Alright, now here he is not talking about the simple desire, he is that we are going to read in the next lines. I hold with those. I hold with those means I agree with those people. Alright, I agree with those people who favor fire. Now, favor support. Alright, who support the theory that the world will be destroyed by fire. Alright, so let us now understand this stanza in detail. Now, in this stanza, okay, the poet Robert Frost states that there are two schools of thought. Okay, both of them are holding contrary opinions about how the world would meet its end. Some people are of the view that it would end because of intense heat, as there is increasing global warming. Alright, so this school of thought, they believe that the world is going to be destroyed because of the excessive global warming. Alright, and each and every one of you have read about global warming in science and social science. Moreover, you have written many articles on this topic, and this global warming also comes out because of our greed. In other words, the deep heat or fire deep in the earth will lead to natural disasters like volcanoes, earthquakes and tsunamis, which will one day end the earth. Alright, so they believe that because of this, many natural disasters will lead to the destruction of the world. Alright, so there is one school of thought, but there are others who believe that the sun might lose its heat, leaving the frozen world behind. Alright, many times in science also, when we were reading about the solar system, your teacher must have asked you the question that what will happen if the earth will move from its place and maybe moves away from the sun. There are many different questions. Alright, so what will happen? The earth is going to freeze and the humanity will freeze to death. So there is this other school of thought. Alright, they believe the earth is going to be destroyed by fire. Okay, so moving on. However, from his own experience, the poet subscribes to the opinion of those who think that the world would end in fire. Okay, so he is with those people, those who believe that the earth is going to end by fire. Alright, so that we have seen in the last two lines. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now, here it is essential to understand that what does fire and ice symbolize. Fire stands for fierce, violent passions. Alright, so fire is depicting the desire that a man has, the passion, the violent passions that a man has, like anger or like lust or cruelty or ruthlessness. Alright, because of these desires, these passions that he has, alright, these passions are great to destroy the world. Okay, while ice on the other hand is symbolic of cold feelings like jealousy, hatred, indifference and self-centeredness. Alright, so what does ice symbolizes? It symbolizes the cold feelings that we have. That is, when we hate someone, when we are jealous of someone, when we are selfish, when we are indifferent towards other. Indifferent towards other means we do not care what the other person is feeling. We do not care in what misery the other person is living. Alright, we are only concerned about ourselves. Now, though the two elements are contrary in nature, alright, though these two will look as if they are opposite in nature, but both of them possess enormous destructive power. Alright, so here one more thing we have to remember, and that is these two things are opposite to each other in nature, but both of them can destroy the world. So this we have to remember. And here in the first stanza, he is talking about the violent passions, the violent desires that people have, alright, which can cause the destruction of the world. Okay, so let us now move on to the second stanza. Alright, first I'll just read the lines. But if it had to perish twice, okay, but if it had. Now what is this it? It in this poem is the world. Alright, so here he's saying that if the earth has to die or to be destroyed twice, alright, first time by fire, and he's saying that if it has to be destroyed twice, I think I know enough of hate. The poet thinks that he has this much experience, he has seen people who are having hatred in their heart. So again here he is talking from his own experience of the world. So I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great. Alright, so he's saying that the knowledge that I am having of the people, of the different drawbacks of people, I know that hatred is also enough to destroy the world and would suffice. Now what is suffice? Suffice means it is sufficient. That means it is not only that the fire, that passions, violent passions and desires can destroy the world, it is also the hatred. Alright, hatred can also easily destroy the world. Alright, so let us move on to the explanation of this stanza. Now in this stanza, the poet continues his idea that the world will perish, but the force of destruction is completely in contrast to the force in the first stanza. Now what do we understand from here? Now if we go back and see the first stanza, there what was destroying the world? What was destroying the world? The fire. Alright, our desires, our passions. Alright, the humanity, the creation on the planet Earth, it was being destroyed. But when he came to the second stanza, he told that now the world will be destroyed because of ice. So here he has moved on from one element to another. Although the poet is of the opinion that the global warming may lead to the destruction of the world, he is not unaware of the lack of the emotional warmth in the world. He thinks that people have lost affection, love, kindness, consideration and sympathy, the emotions considered to be warm. Alright, so now what does the poet believe? He believes that the people, what has happened to the people, what has happened to the world? The world has become cold. The world has lost its emotional warmth, and the world has left the qualities like love, affection, kindness, consideration and sympathy behind. And in their race, in their madness to collect the material things of the world, alright, they have become cold. They have imbibed in them the qualities such as jealousy, hatred, selfishness. Alright, so this is what the poet wants to say here. These emotions, alright, these emotions, that is the emotions of love, affection, consideration, kindness, sympathy, have been replaced by what? The cold emotions like hatred and jealousy. Okay, now both categories, see, love, kindness, compassion, all these things are also emotion. On the other hand, hatred and jealousy are also emotions. But we have to see what emotions should we inculcate in ourselves. Alright, so we have to remember this. Alright, if we can learn to hate, we can also learn to love. We have to remember this. So rampant and so intense is the feeling of hatred that the poet feels that it can be a potential cause of the destruction of the world. Alright, there is so much hatred in this world. Alright, if we see around us, if we see, we can see between families, we can see between individuals, we can see between countries. One country is fighting with the other country, and suppose if this jealousy, this hatred, this infighting becomes huge at a global scale, then it may lead to the destruction of the world. Okay, so now we have to see the end of the poem. What does it suggest? What does it show? What do we learn from this poem? Alright, it shows, it suggests that it does not matter. Okay, it really does not matter that whether fire is going to destroy the world or ice is going to destroy the world. It does not matter which of them, whether ice is strong or the fire is stronger than ice. Alright, both of them are having destructive elements, alright, which can easily destroy the world. So we have to remember that in order to save the world, in order to save humanity, in order to do these things, we need to inculcate in ourselves the emotions of love, compassion, self-sacrifice, contentment. These are the emotions that we should long for. Because remember this, the earth is not going to be destroyed. Alright? The world, the humanity, the creatures might be destroyed, and one day nature will bring new creatures on earth. If we do not put a full stop on this, on these emotions of hatred, jealousy, selfishness, then we will be destroyed and the whole world will be destroyed, and there would be no one in this world. So he wants to save humanity. He wants that people should love together and live together. Alright, so just remember this. Alright, and I hope that you have understood this these two stanzas. Just go back and just revise once again. Alright, and once you are finished with it, then we will be completing the question answers of this chapter. Thank you.